Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Today is a Sunday and we're going to be studying for paper 3 psychology, since that's my nearest paper on Wednesday. So I know that the live stream isn't doing very well, like right now, not in general. I mean in general it's not doing well, but I don't really care. But like now the live stream is quite laggy. Live streaming does take up quite a lot of internet, so I'm trying to limit my internet usage because my dad wants to watch F1 as well, which uses the internet. So yeah, I don't want to cause a disturbance. So maybe I'll just stream for like 2 hours. So today we're not going to be doing any past papers, but we're just going to be looking through all the syllabus content for A levels. So I got an A for my psychology AS. It was my highest A back in my May June, but now it's physics of course. But back then, no, sorry, October November AS. Yeah, but back then in October November, my psychology was my highest with 84%, which is kind of disappointing. But now it's physics. 87%. So hopefully my psychology A2 will not do very badly, so I can still get an A. I'm not really that concerned about getting an A star for psychology, but of course it's a plus if I do still get an A star. So yeah, let's get on with it. So for us, we actually have the option to do either psychology and abnormality, or psychology and the consumer behavior. So we're just going to be doing consumer behavior. So we're going to be skipping past abnormalities, consumer behavior, and also psychology and health. So that's everything in our paper. But let's just go and look at the designs of just experiments. So there's actually lots of different. Let's talk about lab experiments and all that stuff. Right? Let me see if I can find it here. This content, I believe. Oh no. I scrolled past it just now. Okay, maybe not. So we'll just go straight to odds down there. Okay. So first thing we'll do is A-level content, go all the way to psychology and consumer behavior. Okay, so the physical environment, let's start with that. Retail leisure and environment design, retail store architecture, Tully and Milliman. If I'm not mistaken, this is the study where it concerns of. Let me just make it into a smaller one. Yeah. Go here and then we'll search out the different. Stuff here. Search out the different studies here. So Tully and Milliman, I believe it was about the 3 different. Wait, no, sorry. It's the layout. Store interior layout would be the one with the three layouts. The store architecture, Tully and Milliman, they got casinos, and they did either the playground model or what was the other model? The one where it was focusing on the casino machines. It was playground and okay, let's search it up. This retail store architecture. So the Mia's A-levels has some really good notes. Oh, I guess she doesn't have this one. Okay. No. positive responses. It's like avoidance, negative responses, nowadays still longer. Right. No, it's not this one. Where is it? Oh yeah, they reviewed 60 studies. Yeah, my bad. So Tully and Miller, they reviewed 60 studies and they found out that the the six most important things about a retail store architecture would be the general interior. So you would need to focus on the general interior variables and also the external variables. No, sorry, we don't say external. We would say design. Sorry. I know there's layout and design. Sorry, let's just look at it. Yeah, so we have general interior, layout and design, external variables. So external variables, location, building size, display, sign style. So it's just what's outside. So there's external variables, general interior variables, layout and design variables, point of purchase and decoration variables, and human variables. So just to recall, we have external variables, general interior variables, point of purchase and design variables, human variables. Sorry, point of purchase and decoration variables, layout and design variables. Okay, external, general, layout and design, point of purchase, human variables. So that's 5. External variables, general interior variables, layout and design variables, point of purchase and decoration variables, and human variables. Tully and Milliman's findings. General interior perception, affect approach and avoidance behavior. So there's a very we stress on the approach and avoidance behavior. So approach, just based on the word, it's positive response such as the desire to stay and explore, and avoidance would be to get out of there as soon as possible. So such as wanting to leave and not to explore. So looking at these, I think it's not really that important. I mean it is, but mostly the questions they ask you about these only. They don't really ask you about this, but yeah, we'll find out later. Okay, so just to make sure we remember it. So when Tully and Milliman found that we need to focus on the general interior variables, the external variables, the layout and design variables, point of purchase and decoration variables, and human variables. There's also the approach behavior and the avoidance behavior. For the approach behavior, it will be that it is a positive behavior that such as the desire to stay and explore, and the avoidance behavior will be the negative behavior, which is not wanting to stay and explore. So it's just the opposite. Okay. Evaluation. Tully and Milliman identified that situational variables that can be manipulated to affect shopping behavior. It's not possible to manipulate them all, but knowing how to manipulate some can be useful. There's no ethical issues, yeah, because they just reviewed the studies only. Okay, now this is the one I was talking about. So we have Crane's playground model and Friedman's just customer design. So Finlay, and this is all under Finlay at all, they tested both the Crane and Friedman's design. So for Finlay, they gathered how many participants? Did they say it? Oh yeah, they did, 48. simple, easy to understand space with pleasing natural environments. Environmental elements such as sunlight, wind, space, and moving water should be there to induce feelings of security, pleasure, and freedom. So this one's moving on to this here already. So Crane's playground model included, they had all these like greeneries and fountains and all that stuff. Simple, easy to understand space with pleasing natural elements, green space and moving water. Okay. And then for the Friedman, it was very heavily focused on the casino machines. Yeah, so you had low ceilings and maze-like designs. Short pathway is that twist and turn. Yeah, so it's like a maze. Okay. Experimental design procedure. Quasi-experimental design. I'm assuming this is a field experiment because we don't really learn much about quasi-experimental design. Researchers found 3 casinos constructed on each design. Okay, 3 casinos. Measures, so they did 3 of Crane's and 3 of Friedman, and they measures of emotional reaction, self-report to the casinos were collected from people who gambled in all 6 casinos. There were 48 individuals recruited from casinos in Las Vegas, Nevada in May 2006. So from that we already have a ethical bias. So what do we call that? Cultural bias. So it is ethnocentric sample because they're only from Las Vegas and Nevada, which is known for gambling. So if we, like for example, if we take people who aren't really into gambling, they might have different opinions. Most likely towards the playground model, of course, because it's more pleasing to the eye. Okay, the mean age was 28 years old. There were 48 individuals, 26 of whom were male. 48, 26 male, and 28 years old. Okay. 2 to 3 participants went to 4 casinos with a researcher. There was a group like this for each of the 4 researchers. Each of the 16 casinos, 16. Oh yeah, yeah. So it's still 3 Crane, 3 Friedman, but since 2 to 3 went to 4 casinos, then there will be more, of course, more than 6 reviews. So we have to buy at least 3 individuals. So I don't think you don't have to remember all of this. Just make sure you remember this, because this is very important for your evaluation. Results. Crane's, of course, the Crane's playground model yielded significantly higher results than the Friedman casinos on pleasure and restoration. Further research should focus on how to improve the design of a Friedman type casino to enhance restoration. Okay, evaluations. Finlay's study was a quasi-experiment, and an independent variable was the type of design, which wasn't manipulated by the experimenter. Hence, there may be extraneous variables which interfere with the results. However, the ecological variety is likely to be high, yes, as the research is conducted in a real environment rather than an artificial one. Okay. Yeah, hopefully you can understand that. Application to real life. Yes, studies suggest useful modifications that can be made to casinos, meaning just include the pleasure and restoration of your casino. And Finlay's study lacks generalizability as it solely focuses on casinos. Yeah. Therefore, the results can be applied to environments such as retail stores and restaurants. Finlay study used self-reports, and there are practical issues. Participants may be biased towards the middle values, and direct comparisons between participants' scores cannot be made. So, participants. So since free Finlay is using self-reports, participants may be biased towards the middle values, and direct comparisons between participants' scores cannot be made. Store interior layout. So this is the one with the freeform, racetrack, and grid layout. Let me eat a mint. Oh, okay, this mint is spicy. Okay, so the reason why I'm eating mints is like because my mom got me like this milk bottle with like some milk inside, and turns out that milk was like yogurt, and it wasn't like good yogurt. It was like a yogurt drink, and it's warm as well, so you know it doesn't taste good. But it tasted a bit sour, but it's not the worst thing I've drank. So I drank the whole thing because it's a milk bottle, and there's this fascination about adults and milk bottles. And yeah, I like it, I guess, but it's just really strange. Not the bottle, but the drink. But hey, we got a free milk bottle. Okay, let's move on. Virtuopolis et al. Argued that the design and layout of a virtual store are crucial for virtual retail store success. So, they manipulated the virtual layout. Yeah, they used virtual layout. So it's like a virtual reality store, but when the participants, how many again? 3 different layouts: freeform, grid, and racetrack. If I could show you, I would. Okay, let me just show you. So, freeform, grid, racetrack, layout. Yeah. So here we have grid. It's like your typical department store. Some department stores, the grocery section, they have like grid layouts for their dry goods, but the freeform is like this. They have like sometimes they have grids here and some sort of place here. So let's think of like for Bruneians, we have Super Safe. Super Safe is a form of freeform. Like let's say they have fruits here and some of your dairy goods on the freezer here, just like that. And then for racetrack or boutique, it is just, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. So they did find out 120 participants were recruited from both Greece and the UK to take part in a lab experiment. So it's a lab experiment because there is the manipulation of variables. They manipulated the layouts, and their dependent variable would be the satisfaction of the customers. So it's 120 participants from Greece and UK, and they were given a planned shopping task. Oh, it's planned. Okay, I thought they were just given they could buy anything they want, but I'm guessing it's planned. With money to spend and complete the task in one of 3 virtual store layouts. Okay, each participant was given a £20. So just don't think about the Greek drachmas, just think about the pounds. Whatever was purchased during the experiment was later purchased by the researchers and physically delivered to the brand products. Okay. Physically delivered to the participants. Yeah, so in the end the participants did get what they purchased, and yeah, the online store offered mainly European brands, Coke, Pringles and all that stuff, just to make it more how do I say it, higher ecological validity, to make it more similar. Participants were given a blank shopping list and information on what was available in the store so it's blank. Wait, what? They were given a planned shopping task, but they were given a planned shopping task and a blank shopping list. Oh yeah, increase your mundane realism. So I guess the participants were told the shopping task would be for the participants to plan what they want to buy so they could buy anything they want. Okay, so from what I remember, trying to not look at the results, the freeform was the one where they spent the most time on, and it was the most fun to use. And then the grid was the easiest to use. I think that's it. And the boutique was the most fun to use, and they spent most time there. No, sorry, the boutique one, they spent the most time there, but it's not the most fun to use. So over here it says was the most useful layout, as they could reach one page from another page directly. Okay, freeform layout was the most entertaining. Okay, so it was the most easiest to use, useful and entertaining. Grid layout was just easy to use, and racetrack was the hardest to use. Okay, so racetrack, of course, like from what I showed just now, you would find it hard to use this as well. So that's just for the evaluation to be that, to try and avoid the racetrack layouts because it's hard to use, and try doing freeform more. Like maybe department stores would use freeform to make them stay there longer, but like convenience stores would just use grid because you just want to make it easy for them. That's why they will go to your convenience store for the convenience. So so freeform is the most useful and easiest. And most entertaining. The grid was the easiest, and the racetrack was the hardest. So general retail store layouts are not readily applicable to online retail. Customers prefer a tree structure provided by a grid layout when shopping online. Customers spend a lot of time shopping when using the racetrack or freeform layouts. So, evaluations. Retropolis study was conducted in a lab, and the ecological validity has been increased by the use of a real shopping task. But of course, it is still low in validity because it is done in virtual reality. It is done in a lab, An application of the study. The study suggests that online retail stores didn't even finish it. I'm just gonna finish it for them. I guess the application of study shows that online retail stores should use tree structures provided by a great layout when shopping online. Generalizability is increased as the samples collected from both Greece and UK. I wouldn't say it's increased, but because these are still European countries, if I'm not mistaken. So these are Europeans might behave differently from Asians. Asians might find the grids more fun to use. Like if you were to ask me, like we have two stores, Hua Ho and Super Safe. Hua Ho is like a heavy grid, and the Super Safe is freeform. I mean, I would say I like Super Safe, but that's not because of its freeform, but just because it's cleaner there. It looks more clean, more organized. I like organized store layouts. I don't like if you bring me to a racetrack layout, I wouldn't like it at all. Okay, self-reports were used, and since they were in the lab, scores are open to demand characteristics. Yeah. Okay. So you told them to go to a lab, and straight away you asked them to wear their virtual reality and do some shopping. So it might be easy for them to determine what is it that you're trying to research, and therefore demand characteristics. So let's just try and refresh ourselves. Let's not look at the whole sample. So the sample is 120 participants from Greece and UK, and they're given $20 to do a shopping task in one of 3 virtual layouts. Okay. Sound and consumer behavior. So we're on to this one already. So we have music in restaurants, North et al. North et al. Was done in a cafe, and they played classical music and no music to see which one would bring more customers. No, which one would encourage the customers to spend more. So, okay, let's just read the study. North et al. Investigated the effects of musical style on the money spent in restaurants. The study was conducted in a restaurant in the evening. Well, in my notes it was a cafe, but let's just say cafe. 18 evenings in February and March 2002. Well, we don't have to remember that. It was in a small affluent town, and the restaurant served, it was a high-class restaurant, high-quality food and prices that were well above the market average. Okay, 393 customers participated. There were 141 dinner parties. People who were there more than once were excluded. There were an equal amount of male and female diners. Field experiment, independent subjects design. What are the chances that you get just the equal amount of male and female diners walking into a restaurant in a period of the time you need to collect a sample? What are the chances? Okay, besides that, 141 dinner parties and 393 customers. Okay, so that's a sample, 393. And for the pop music condition, they did it for 142 participants. I don't think we have to remember all of this actually, but of course if you can remember it, it's a plus. But I don't like to remember too much stuff because you tend to forget other stuff when you try and remember everything. Independent variable, of course, it's the type of music played. Independent variable is the mean amount of money spent per person, which is calculated separately for each course and drink category. The procedure, participants did not know they were participating in the psychological research. So that is already an ethical concern, no informed consent. The experimenter, but this also gives us a higher validity of our results because there's no demand characteristics. The experimenter collected data by working as a waitress. So this is in participant study. What's it called again? When an experimenter takes part, I forgot. Working as a waitress, 2 to 76 minutes. CDs were there for each condition. Is it 276 or number 276? 276 minute CDs were there for each condition. The music had not been repeated and it was played at a constant volume. Yes, this is as a control to make sure that it is not the volume that's affecting their amount of money spent. The independent samples, test T, tests indicated no difference in the pace of music between the two conditions. Yeah, this is all the control. The average spend was higher and participants were more likely to have starters and coffee in the classical music condition. So classical music, the reason you can say is because it's a high class restaurant, so it sets the upper class atmosphere when you play classical music. So that's why they tend to spend more money. Statistical analysis revealed the difference in results between the conditions and also indicated that there are significant differences between conditions on mean spend per head. Yeah. So findings were consistent with previous researches, which suggested that playing classical music leads to people reporting they want to spend more and actual higher spending. There are three explanations as to why people spend more listening to classical music. Okay, it's more synergistic with other variables in the restaurant. Synergy promotes spending. Yeah. So if you were at a family diner, of course you will play like pop music. You wouldn't play classical music. However, North and Hargreaves study, students in a student cafeteria spend more while listening to classical music, but the music had not been synergistic with their surroundings. This is an anomaly. So that's the thing about psychology. It's really not all of your results are reliable, but you just have to go out of wing it and just say it's reliable because it's just one study that has different results. I mean, same results actually, but different. It just contradicts our reasoning. Okay, classical music was preferred by customers and this somehow produced increased spending. Like, unironically, who listens to classical music? Like, I mean, I do sometimes, but that's because I play like the piano and the guitar, so I tend to like listening to some classical music as well. But unironically, I don't think anyone listens to just classical music instead of like your average pop music. Because you just get to vibe more of the pop music. Okay, let's continue. Classical music promotes an upmarket atmosphere that primes contextually appropriate congruent behavior such as increased spending. Yep, it promotes an upmarket atmosphere. So, three explanations. It's synergistic, promotes upmarket atmosphere, and preference. So we have 393 participants and 276 of listening time. That's not at all. So just a recall to see if you can remember everything. Just a short recall. Tully and Milliman reviewed 60 studies and three general conditions. Vertropolis looked at 3 different store layouts and they had how many participants? 60 from UK and Greece, and they were all given $20. And also the Finlay et al. Looked at 2 casino designs, Crane's Playground Model and Friedman Casino Design, and they had 48 participants, 26 being male. And okay, moving on. Evaluations. Music will have a positive effect on customer spending. However, type of music must play in different environments to attract positive spending may differ. Study was a field experiment, so high ecological validity. Less likely to exhibit demand characteristics, low levels of control. It results to different cultures, so there's an ethical bias. Sorry, not ethical, cultural bias, because it's just in the UK. Maybe Asians will just spend less money regardless of the music. Classical music was preferred because I'm gonna be honest with you, when I go to a restaurant, unless they're playing like some heavy metal rock and a very loud sound, like 100 decibels of heavy metal rock, I would leave that restaurant straight away. But other than that, I don't really care about the music. Classical music was preferred by customers, and this somehow produced increased spending. Oh, sorry, not that one. Individual factors may play a role in determining our behavior, so it must be considered for further research. Yeah, so high ecological validity, and yeah, music will have a positive effect. Okay, music in open market is Guggen et al. So this one was about the toy stall in France. So it was an outdoor market. So they conducted a stall at an open air market in France on 2 sunny Saturdays. The stall sold trinkets and toys. Okay, so now this is one where if you would play classical music, it wouldn't do much, because why would you play classical music for when you're selling children items? They don't care about classical music. Okay, hypothesis: popular music will increase both length of stay and the amount of money spent. So that's actually the dependent variable. They just want to calculate the length of stay and the amount of money spent. Research method: it was a field experiment as it was conducted in natural settings. Yeah, but the independent variable was controlled, which is the music played and the amount of time the duration in which it was played. Oh, sorry. Independent was just whether the music was played or not. So they didn't play other musics, they just played the popular music. Joyful music, and it was like the trompetas. So samples 154 men and 86 women, which will give us 130 total participants. 140 total participants. 240. 3 female stallholders were Confederates. Confederates means they were like paid actors, something like that. In the music condition, when a participant approached the stall, they would start playing the music. One participant timed the length of the customer's stay and recorded how much was spent. Okay. The customer stayed longer when the music was played. Customers in the music condition stayed for an average of 5.27 minutes, and those in the non-music condition 3.72 minutes, and this was significant at p less than 0.001, which means it's statistically highly significant. So if it's closer to 1, it is not highly significant. If it is far away, close to 0, then it will be highly statistically significant. In the music condition, 80% of people bought something, whereas only 10% of people bought something in the non-music condition. Those in the music condition spent more, but the difference wasn't very significant. Conclusion: authors offered several possible explanations for the findings. Music may influence our perception of time because you are more focused on the music. That's if you are focused on music, you tend to. It's like gaming. You or like the holidays. You feel like the holidays just fly by and school days just drag on. So it's because you spend less time. You spend less of your mind focusing on the time when you're having fun. You're just focusing on you having fun. But when you are studying or working out or doing planks, something like that, you tend to focus on when is this going to end. So you're focusing on the time. That's why it tends to take. It feels like the perception seems like you take longer. Authors claim that music can be used to increase sales. A supporting study, Ernie and Kim, showed that music led to customers purchasing more expensive wine. Evaluation study was a field experiment, so it's high ecological variety, however, low levels of control, and also informed consent. Okay, background noise and food perception, Woods et al. So Woods et al. They use they made the participants wear loud earphones, I believe. Yeah, headphones. Woods et al. Used a lab experiment to see the effect of auditory background noises on taste perception. Independent variable: no noise, quiet background noise, loud background noise. Okay, so we have no noise, quiet background noise, and loud background noise. The dependent variable would be the ratings the participant gave in on whether the sweetness of the food or all that stuff. 48 students, so we have 48. So previously we have 240, now we have 48. 48 students in Manchester University, aged 19 to 39, received either payment or credit. Okay, so they would receive either a payment for participating or a college credit, which I would definitely get. 5 smoke and 5 had a cold. They all gave their informed consent, so no informed consent. Participants sat at a table and a panel hid the food from view. They wore headphones with background noise at either 45 to 55 decibels and 75 to 85 decibels. That's a loud condition, which it is quite loud, honestly, 75 to 85. So you could be causing it 75 to 85 is quite loud. Participants rated the saltiness, sweetness, and liking. They sipped water. Wait, let me check. How loud is the dog's bark? Dog's bark decibel. Participants rated saltiness, sweetness, and liking. They sipped water between each trial. That's just to, like, as a palate to neutralize all your previous tastes so that it doesn't affect the previous taste. Each participant had 5 trials, so it was a repeated matches design. Each participant sat for a total of 30 minutes. They were fully debriefed, so there was debriefing as well. So this is a pretty ethical study. In the loud condition, the sweetness and saltiness reported was significantly lower than the quiet condition aims. So this is for experiment 1. Genus. Conveyed food cues are affected by background noise to check whether okay. Further, they also rated how much they liked the background noise in the study. So they paid loud noises. Loud noises. The crunchiness was more intense in the loud condition. Yep, and the relationship between the ratings of the liking background noise and the ratings of liking the food was found. So the crunchiness was more intense in the loud condition. More intense in the loud condition, yeah, makes sense. And a relationship between the ratings of liking background noise and ratings of liking the food was found. The background noise, which is unrelated to the food, diminishes taste properties but enhances crunchiness. Yeah, because crunchiness is a sound-based. It's like more sound than taste attribute, you know. That's why most likely if you play loud noises, you would think it's a crunch and enhance your crunches. 120 decibels. Damn. I had to feed the dogs yesterday and the barking was insane. It was like they just kept barking and I could feel my eardrums vibrating. It was like like a gong. It was damn. I hope I don't go there. Okay, evaluation. Woods et al. Study was a lab experiment, high levels of control, therefore there might be demand characteristics, hence low ecological validity. So we're almost at the end. So yeah, we're here. And later on, we will have to go on to the psychological environment. Okay, Olszewski, Gill et al., all of that stuff. Damn, that's a lot. I'll be honest with you, my teacher didn't even teach this. We didn't get to cover this, you know. Oh, that's a lot to study for. Maybe I have to ask my teacher again, just to make sure that it's in the syllabus. Kalou et al. Aim to investigate how color and light influence customers' perception of a high-quality brand. So previous research has suggested that bright fluorescent light and popular music creates a discount store image. And having soft lights and classical music creates image of higher quality. Makes sense. Kalou predicted that there's a relationship between store image and product type, which will determine the type of lighting that will be the most effective. They refer to this as the square method. although it is not a recognized research method. So, sample and location. 4 stores of the high quality brand Nautilus in Istanbul. 120 participants aged 15 to 60. 50% were males and 85% were females. 121 participants. Previously we had 84? How much was it again? 84? Oh, 48 was... Oh, 48. And previously, regarding the music, we had 121, I believe. No, 240. Oh, I recommend you remember like how much participants there were, because this is like mostly free marks, you know. Plus 120, Norfolk all 393, music grouping at all 240, Woods at all 48. 48. I bet which one had 48 again? 48 for Woods at all and Cranes, right? Yeah, 48. Right, Finlay. Okay, let's go back. Kulu et al. Kulu predicted that there's a relationship between the store image and prototype, which will determine the type of lighting that will be most effective. 121 participants, research collected data in 2 ways: data on lighting levels in various parts of the store, and data on customer perceptions of the store using questionnaires. So questionnaires, of course, there is more biased to middle values, so there was the validity of it. Sample completed the questionnaires, which had 8 questions, made to evaluate the store's image. So 75% of sample thought that the lighting color scheme of the store had an effect on the brand image. That's all. Light was above average at the windows, but not enough near the cash desk or changing stalls. Conclusions are strongly influenced by light and color. Okay. Chabert and Michon conducted a field experiment in a shopping mall in Canada for 2 weeks. There were identical sales volumes and shopper traffic. All promotions in the mall were cancelled. This is another control. In week 1, the mall's ambient olfactory atmosphere was not modified, so it was just normal. In week 2, a light citrus pleasing scent was sprayed by 10 diffusers for 3 seconds every 6 minutes in the mall's main corridor. The pilot study ensured that odor intensity did not bother the people. Graduate students who wore no perfume and under control handed out questionnaires. Participants were unaware of the true aims of the study. The questionnaire asked about their perceptions of product quality, the shopping mall, and how much they spent, excluding groceries. Scent indirectly increases the perception of product quality. The ambient scent needs to support the whole store. Product-related scents may help the sales of that product. So what something like product-related scents would be? I know there's this one product with like this scent that I really like. Forgot. But it's not perfume. I don't really like using perfume. Okay, so 145 in week 1 and 447 in week 2. Then both studies were conducted in real environments. Findings can be generalized to other environments, but not other cultures. So I believe there was actually 2 experiments to Chabert and Michon. The first one, they did this experiment, but the second one, they were worried the sample was too small. Or was it the previous one? Or was it the other one, crowding retail environments? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that one, so not this one. Both studies clearly showed the impact that situational cues such as color, light, and scent may have on individuals' cognition, perceptions, and behavior. We're not aware of the participation in the experiment, so low ethics findings can be generalized to other environments but not other cultures. Both studies were conducted in real environments. Okay, that's it. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one. Well, they did label this 7.1, so I'll save it 7.2. Do we have 7.2? A level psychology 7.2. Damn. Stupid ad. A-level psychology 7.2, the psychological environment. Yep. So I'm gonna take a short break first. It's been like an hour, so I'm gonna take a really short break just to cool down a bit. Okay, let's continue. Uh, environmental influence on consumers. Talking about the cognitive maps of retail locations. So if I recall this one, they told the household, the people in the household usually go and buy groceries to draw a map of how they got from their house to the grocery store. Okay. McKay and Olszewski. So remember, it's McKay and Olszewski. Aim to explore the use of cognitive maps in understanding consumer behavior. "78 participants. What is that sound? "78 participants were shoppers from 8 busy supermarkets in Bloomington. They were the principal grocery shoppers for their households and had a car. The store they were in was the main one, and they knew the other 7 stores. They were paid $5 to participate in the lab study procedure. They were asked to rate the 8 supermarkets in order of their preference and then draw a map of the departure point and the location of the 8 supermarkets. Another map was also created using multi-dimension scaling. Cognitive maps help to understand what features are important to the participant. Cognitive maps correlate better with preference and real behavior than actual maps. Because like we're saying that if a person, let's say I have a sinking pot, super safe and Hua Ho, and I prefer super safe over Hua Ho and Hua Ho over sinking pot, I will most likely know how to draw a map from my house to super safe accurately over from my house to sinking pot, because I don't even like sinking pot. So yeah, that's the way that's what it means by correlate better preference and real behavior than actual maps. Further maps created with multi-dimensional scaling are better for understanding shopper preferences and frequencies than hand-drawn maps, because like what you prefer will actually stand out to you, so you are most likely to remember those details that you draw. Evaluations: they conducted their experiments in a lab. It was easy to control extraneous variables like such noise levels. Application to real life: McKay and Olszewski concluded that cognitive maps help to understand consumer behavior. The technique has been discovered as a result of this study, and this technique can be implemented in future studies. So this is McKay and Olszewski, studying of cognitive maps of 78 participants and 8 busy supermarkets. Okay, crowding in retail environments. So this is to do an experiment on the customer satisfaction relative to the crowding. Okay, I got distracted there. Crowding produces stress, which will increase negative emotions, and non-crowded environments will produce positive emotions. So this is a direct stating of the personal space environment. Perceived crowding leads to stress and dissatisfaction, and this relationship is affected by expectations. Yeah. So if you know that cheap places like Sydney Pot, where they have like a bunch of cheap groceries, you are more likely to not have high expectations for it to not be crowded because you know that since it's cheap, a lot of people will go there. So yeah, that's why you have less stress and dissatisfaction. But then for like shops like Super Safe, it's in more of an upclass, upmarket grocery store, so you wouldn't really be expecting much crowd. But so then, if there is a crowd, you would be like, "What's going on? Why is there a crowd?" Yeah, you'll be more stressed or dissatisfied. Individual differences in tolerance to perceived crowding is a factor. The store type, whether it's a discount store or a market, will be a factor as well. Yeah. Okay, to investigate this, 3 studies were conducted. Study 1, 1,722 university students from both undergraduate and postgraduate marketing courses were given a survey to complete after their next shopping trip. It included questions on their perception. I'm sounding really, what's it called, Australian, perception. It included questions on their perception of crowding, satisfaction, and outcome of the trip. They were asked emotion measurement, crowding tolerance questions, and basic demographic questions. Results of Study 1, an increase in perceived crowding was associated with a decrease in positive emotions. Study 2 was a replica of Study 1 but with a more diverse adult sample, and the results of Study 2 confirmed the results of Study 1. Yeah, so this is the experiment where they did Study 2 just to get more diverse sample. Okay, Study 3 was a lab experiment where a photographer created 4 short films of shoppers in a store with varying human density and spatial density. 231 participants were told to read a passage describing the store as a discount store or an upmarket store, and stated that the participant was searching for an important book. So what's this again? Meshiel et al., right? Yeah, Meshliet. And one was McCain Olszewski. Meshliet. The participants searching for an important book. They then watched one of the 4 55-second videos and imagined themselves shopping for this book in the store. They then responded to a series of questions asked in the previous studies. Results of Study 3 showed that within perceived crowding and shopping satisfaction varied by the store type. So there's a discount store and a market store. That's why they did store type. The researchers identified a ceiling effect at a point at which the environment gets so crowded that satisfaction levels are inevitably affected. Yeah, so no matter like if you're in a discount store or an outmarket store, if you have like 100 people lining up, of course you'll get affected. Which is why I don't get why people line up for iPhones. Do they not get a bit dissatisfied knowing that there's that much people lining up for an iPhone? Can't you get, why is there a race to see who can get the first iPhone? Like, you're buying it, why are you so in a rush to buy it? Like, what? I know it gets sold out, but it restocks in like the next week. Can't you wait? Why do you want to waste your time getting the new iPhone? I don't get it. It's the same thing. Even the A17 chip now is like the same thing. They speak about how powerful it is, but we can't notice the difference because we don't need that much power. The iPhone 12 is already enough power for us, to be honest. Out of the 3 experiments, the first 2 were field experiments, so there's a high ecological variety. However, it is harder to control extraneous variables. The third study was a lab experiment, so there is high ecological control over the environment but low ecological validity. Mashlier found similar results across the 3 studies, and this strengthens conclusions and applications to real life. Application to real life. Okay, so they found similar results, so that means that it's higher in reliability. A application to real life, shops should focus on creating a feeling of space rather than filling the space with as much merchandise as possible. Shopper movement patterns. Gill et al. Examine patterns of shopper movement and behavior in a supermarket. A space in how many participants were there? It's like 1,000 something. Yeah, it's a lot. And for McKay and Olszewski, you had 78 participants. Gill et al. Examine patterns of shopper movement. So this is the one where they gave them colored notepads, colored indicators, and they had cameras observing them, but they were told, of course, cameras observing their movement patterns. Interview and track the movements of over 480 shoppers in order to create shopper profiles. It was a non-experimental study. Yup, they did not manipulate anything. The researchers were particularly interested in whether store layout has an impact on shopper behaviors, specifically movement patterns, shopping duration, and interaction with products. Shoppers were asked to take part and were given a colored tag which allowed them to be identified by the CCTV system so that their movements could be followed. When they were leaving, they were interviewed on the following: the frequency of their shopping trips, the purpose of the trip, the use of a shopping list, satisfaction of the shopping, and the amount of money spent. Shopper behavior is strongly affected by the product application, obviously. And grocery areas are more popular than aisles of baby products. 5 spatial behavior patterns were also identified. The specialist, native. Okay, we have to remember this. So there's the spatial behavior narrative. So 5 spatial behavior patterns. Specialist, native, tourist, explorer, and raider. Well, they didn't expand on it. Usually they will expand on it, so we will have to look this up. So that's the specialist, the native, the tourist, the raider, and the explorer. So the explorer, I'm guessing based on the name, is the people who just go into the store and they don't have any objectives, they will just look around and see what they like. And then the tourist sounds about the same. And then you have the specialists, they know what they're looking for and they get it and get out. Native is people who have frequented the stores. And you have the raiders, which is, I guess that means that they only come like very few times, and when they come they buy a lot of stuff. So we have specialist, native, tourist, explorer, and raider. 4 patterns of movements were identified: short trip, round trip, central trip, and wave trip. So short, round, central, wave. Evaluations. Gill et al. Was conducted in real consumer environments, so high ecological variety but low control over variables. Application to real life. Gill et al. Identified shopping types, so future studies can explore them in greater detail. 2 studies were conducted in USA and 3rd in UK. We need to consider numerous social, cultural, and economic factors before generalizing results. So this one is about menu design psychology, so it's Pavesic. So Pavesic actually noted 4 mistakes of menu design. So it's not considering the menu design, meaning like the menu design should match your restaurant aesthetic, and you have the poor use of space, meaning like you just cram all year long. It's like quality of quantity, you know. You shouldn't just cram all of your menu items onto one list. Making prices too obvious, so customers select their order based on prices. I mean, I like this, but this is just a marketing thing. They don't want you to select based on prices, but it is wise to select based on prices. So if they don't give you the prices, just ask them. Don't make a mistake and order like something that looks nice and end up paying 10 times the price for it. Not matching the menu design to decor. Oh yeah. Okay, Seberg in 1971 introduced menu psychology and said it's important to highlight certain items to grab the customer's attention. Okay, so let's remember the mistakes. So we have item spacing, matching the design with decor, not considering the menu design. And sorry, what was the last one? Poor use of space, but we did say that, making prices too obvious, sorry. However, it reported that Amazon spends 109 seconds reading the menu on average. Menu should be short and attractive as it reduces ordering times. The range of stock required and potential wastage increases the turnover in the restaurant. Yeah, so don't put too much stuff on the menu. Just put what you specialize at. So you just need to get less groceries, less supplies, and increase your profits. The menu item made to stand out should have the highest profit margin and should be easy to prepare. Okay, primacy, recency, and menu item position. Dayan Barhillan predict that the items placed at the beginning and end of the list are more likely to be remembered than the ones in the middle. So they had like 4 conditions, which is the baseline, mirror, inverted baseline, and inverted mirror. So inside out, I guess. Inside out. 240 Hebrew universities were randomly allocated to 4 conditions. Each condition had different menu designs, which differed only in terms of order of item presentation within each category. The menus had 4 appetizers, 10 entrees, 6 soft drinks, and 8 desserts. The names of the items and the description were copied from Israeli pizza chain. No prices were displayed. That. So, I guess someone read the Perversic study. 240 Hebrew University students allocated to 4 conditions. Conditions had different menu designs, which is the baseline, inside out, baseline, mirror, inside out, mirror. Menus had 4 appetizers, 10 entrees, 6 soft drinks, 8 desserts. Each participant had been given a version of the menu and asked to choose an item from each category. Each participant had been given a version of the menu and asked to choose an item from each category. Reverse the baseline order within the top and bottom half of each category specifically. Turning middle items to the top bottom items and vice versa. Okay, so it's just like you take something and you turn it inside out. So the middle moves out and just it's like continuously like that. It's really weird. Result to study 1. Participants were significantly more likely to select items at the extremes than the items in the middle. The advantage of being listed at the beginning and end was 56%, which is significant to p less than 0.001. No primacy recency effects was found. 50.5% of choices were from items in the top half of the category and 49.5% from the bottom. Study 2, the authors accepted the criticism that although the results of Study 1 were convincing, the choices made by participants were hypothetical ones. Hence, they conducted another study in a small coffee shop in the center of Tel Aviv. The coffee shop had 60 items on the menu in 3 categories: coffee, soft drinks, and desserts. Only 2 menu versions were included, baseline and inside out baseline. The staff recorded the orders made. advantage of being listed at extremes was 55%. And results confirmed the findings of study 1. There was an even larger gain when an item was moved from the exact middle to the extreme, and 55%, and moved from the near middle to the near end, 51%. Conclusions. The results confirm that items placed at the extremes are more likely to get ordered. Okay. Evaluations. Diane and Barhilo conducted a lab and field experiment which produced similar results. Hence, this strengthens the findings. The researchers collected quantitative data, how many of each item position or order, which allows data to be easily analyzed and clear comparisons to be drawn. The researchers collected quantitative data, how many of each item order, which allows data to be easily analyzed. Okay. Applications to real life. Findings can be incorporated into restaurant menu by placing the highest profit items or overstock items at the extremes. Furthermore, the authors also suggested that people's choices towards healthy options can be manipulated. Okay. 240 participants. Okay. Sensory perceptions and food in one sink. Yeah. So where are we? One sink. My brain is kind of overloading. I need to take a short break. The loudest purr of a cat is 54.6 decibels. Cats are just so cute. Okay, one sink. So this one was they overcomplicated the names of like normal foods like baked beans. They changed it to what is that? Is there baked beans here or red beans? Okay, let's say like there's one grandma's zucchini cookies. They just made it more sensory, you know. They made it more like senses of it. So for one sink, they conducted 6-week experiment in a cafeteria in an American university. There was a total of 100 participants. 87% were university staff, 9% were graduate students, and 5% were visitors. No differences were found in terms of age, gender, or education terms. So we don't actually have to remember this. Actually, just 140 participants is enough. The food labels of 6 items were changed to much more descriptive labels, more sensory inducing. Red beans became traditional chajun red beans with rice. Seafood fillet became succulent Italian seafood fillet. Grilled chicken became tender grilled chicken. Chicken parmesan became home-style chicken parmesan. Chocolate pudding became satin chocolate pudding. And zucchini cookies became grandma's zucchini cookies. And on 2 days each week, 2 items were presented with the regular labels. 2 were presented with the descriptive labels. The other 2 were not offered. These were rotated until all items had been offered in all conditions. Each person selected one of the 6 target items with Likert skills. They were asked to estimate calories.